The following program is sponsored by PokerStars.com. For the last 5 weeks, this table has seen soaring wins and crushing defeats.
Well, that's pretty sick.
Massimiliano Martinez, the fearless Italian amateur, stunned the pros with his youthful bravado.
Wow, this is the most aggressive loose cannon I've ever seen.
And scooped a massive profit. Now, just one man stands in Max's way to claim the ultimate prize. Does our final loose cannon, the retired cop Ken Rankowski, have what it takes to crack the case and take down the loose cannon title? But that may be the undercard to the main event.
You're a disgrace to the game.
Tony, can you please shut up?
I love to clean you out every time I play with you. I love it.
Look who's back for a rematch.
Phil Hellmuth, where is he? If I see him, I want to charge him.
Big week if you want to wear earplugs.
Forces collide on the final week of the big game. Next.
This better be my week. I'm getting sick of this BS.
This is the PokerStars.com Big Game.
Welcome to another week of the big game from Las Vegas, Nevada. Alongside Joe Stapleton, I'm Scott Huff, and tonight our 6th and final internet qualifier will have a shot to win the nearly $1 million stacked on the felt.
The 05 World Series of Poker main event champ Joe Hashem is all the way down at the end of the table, so he may need someone to pass the sugar.
Jose Nacho Barbero is an Argentinian pro who took down over $1.5 million in tournaments last year. He starts with $100K.
Tony G's qualified to be here, and he's here for one reason: smash Phil Hellmuth. And to help him, he's brought 400,000 of his closest friends.
Academy Award-nominated actress Jennifer Tilly is here. She drew the seat that comes with earmuffs. She'll start with $100K.
And to her right is 11-time bracelet winner Phil Hellmuth. The Brat has busted 4 of the 6 times he's played on the big game for a nearly $400K loss. So this time out, Phil has hired Lane back-to-back Laak as his poker consultant for the session. Highly unusual. Phil's hoping Lane can keep him level-headed and says sometimes even Tiger Woods needs someone to take a look at his swing.
Our loose cannon is 51-year-old retired cop Ken Rankowski. Ken spent 30 years on the beat and now spends his time running a coffee shop in British Columbia. He's with Amanda Leatherman.
Ken, describe to me what this opportunity can mean in your life.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I mean, the possibilities are endless. If I do well at the table, it's going to take me where I want to be in my retirement.
Well, you said you were a police officer for 30 years. You're dealing with criminals, with thieves. How does that help you at the poker table?
For 30 years, I've been doing interviews, Amanda. I've talked to lots of people. I can tell when they're lying. I can tell when they're truthful. And I find I can get the same tells from people at the poker table. So that's what I'm hoping to do today.
Are you scared of that lineup at all?
Who wouldn't be scared of that lineup? But I'm just going to play my cards, and I'm going to have a good time, and I'm going to see where it takes me.
All right, Ken, good luck.
Thank you very much.
Here are the rules for the loose cannon. Each cannon is staked $100,000 to play. He keeps all profits above the initial $100K. And at season's end, the loose cannon who's won the most money earns a North American Poker Tour passport worth $50,000.
And Ken's going to have to bring his A game to win that trophy and the passport. He'll have to top the $163,000 of our leading loose cannon, the Italian Massimiliano Martinez.
Are you officially the first loose cannon to wear a tie on this show, Ken?
I think I am. How does it look?
Congratulations,
doesn't
well
look
done.
That loose.
Yeah, it doesn't look that loose, that's right.
It doesn't foster that wild and crazy image.
Maybe it'll help my game a little bit, I don't know.
Tell us about yourself, Ken.
I just retired from the police department. I spent 30 years as a policeman. I retired 2 months ago.
How am I going to bust you now? You're an ex-copper.
Is that considered the Canadian Royal
Canadian Mounted
No,
Police?
this is the municipal police department, Vancouver.
Have you ever had to draw a gun?
Plenty of times.
She's got a boyfriend, Ken.
King 6 for Ken.
Have you ever shot anybody?
I don't know if I can say that on TV.
How many people have you killed?
Did you work for the CIA?
King Jack for the Brat.
Done lots of undercover work.
Wow.
Tony G facing a raise from Phil Hellmuth with 9-10.
Here we go, Phil. Did you raise him?
Tony G calls. Nacho Barbero lets it go. Ace-7 for Hashem makes the call.
Back to the same tricks.
I'm not going to let you two just enjoy
Back to
the
the
party.
same old, same old.
I feel like I'm stuck in the middle of a triangle.
Stuck in the middle.
Let's hope Tony doesn't cut your ear off.
Flop 8, Queen Jack. Tony G flops the nuts.
First hand.
Check.
This isn't even fair.
Joe checks.
Hellmuth's got middle pair. He's supposed to continue.
And he checks. Tony G fires 5,000.
Is that 5,000?
That is 5.
Hashem folds.
Almost a full pot-size bet. These guys rarely fold a pair on the flop.
Hellmuth calls.
We're going to draw. Draw your gun.
I got a big draw, Tony. What do you want me to do?
Turn, 5 of diamonds.
Phil's big draw, now drawing dead.
Hellmuth checks. Tony bets 15,000.
Almost pot-sized again.
I got a big draw. Spade.
Phil calls.
And Tony is loving it.
River, 4 of hearts. No help to Phil. Not that he could get any. Checks it. Tony bets 50,000.
Phil's in big trouble if he thinks Tony's just triple barreling.
Where's the big draw now? Oh, where's the big draw?
First hand of the night against Tony G, probably making this a harder decision than it should be.
There's Phil's coach, Lane Flack, watching from the green room and can't help him right now.
You think I'm going to check to you or what?
Well, I thought maybe you would, yeah.
Yeah.
This is an overbet which polarizes Tony's hand to nuts or air, and on the first hand of the night, it's just going to seem so much more likely that Tony has air. Now, if you've never seen this show before, these two have a relationship like Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. Usually involves Phil blowing himself up and Tony sticking his tongue out.
All right, I call.
He makes the call.
There you go. Welcome to the game.
Ouch.
Just flops the nuts just off the bat.
Welcome to the game. You've been doing a lot of talking. Now show me your bullets. Show me what you brought to the game. Where's your money? Don't tell me you're going to play with that crap. You're not going to embarrass yourself here, are you? Yet again. Phil, produce. Pull out your money. I love the show.
First alternate, Daniel Negreanu, can follow the action backstage with Lane, but they cannot see the whole cards.
My consultant job is short.
I bet you he had like a raggedy queen.
King queen.
I bet you didn't even have that.
Daniel would win that bet. Phil just had king jack.
And after the first hand, the Brat loses nearly 3/4 of his stack down to just 28K.
Nice hand.
Yeah, you're happy for me, I know. And I really stuck it into you there at the river, right? I put that knife in, opened up those wounds, you were bleeding it all out. Did you enjoy it?
Tony, you are a real beauty. I hope the fans at home appreciate what they see from you.
Tell me you enjoyed it though. You enjoyed that pain. You're flowing freely now.
I will respond to you. I don't usually respond. I'll just say that the Tony G show is kind of fun to watch. I don't even mind losing to you. I think it's kind of funny.
Well, I'm glad. Now we're starting to connect.
This, I mean, you know you can't get to me staying within conventional bounds of poker, so you know you have to like cross all the lines.
I mean, sound very zen-like. Is this something Lane Flack taught you?
Tony's not supposed to be able to get to Phil, but I think
he does.
I think losing. I said he's not supposed to be able to, but losing 65,000 on the first hand might amplify it.
Make that 72,000 there, coach.
Who's your coach? Your coach be jumping up and down.
We expect Tony to cross every social boundary and cross all the lines. And the players, and most of the world doesn't know how bad his etiquette is.
I hope what they know one thing, it's just a game, it just stays here, Phil. You come here, I destroy you. Off the table, I wish you all the best of luck.
You beat me that hand. Very nice hand, bro.
Phil. I beat you over and over and over and over. You're destroyed. You can never get your money back.
Ken, welcome to the big game.
One hand down. 149 to go.
Hellmuth raises to 2,000 with Big Slick.
I own you. You understand, Phil? I own you. I run you. It's my game.
Tony G facing a raise from Phil, has to take a breath. King Deuce. Folds.
If he did that to you, would you just pull out a gun and shoot him?
I'm sure he's a smart man. He understands.
Get him in one of those police locks.
There's a difference between being on the streets and being here in a studio, taking on the best player in the world. I mean, he purports to be the best poker player in the world. I mean, that's what he's telling us. Well, beat me in the hand, Phil.
Does that one count?
Phil takes that one down as we take a look at the rules of the big game. Each table lasts exactly 150 hands. The action pre-flop is pot limit, then no limit after the flop. Blinds are 2 and 4 with a $100 ante, all of which is paid by the player on the button. And every player begins with at least $100,000 but can rebuy for up to $500K.
And this year, the loose cannon doesn't have the option to come back to increase his stack. This is Ken's once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to listen to Tony G berate Phil.
Ah, not true. There are reruns.
And the internet.
You're gonna retire. I'm telling you, when you're crushed again, it's time to retire.
Wow. You know what? I've never done this before. I'm putting an earphone in.
Are you taking the pills?
I've never done this before. I'm putting like a piece of like thing in my ear here.
Oh, he's putting in earplugs.
Jennifer's boyfriend, Phil Laak, also watching from the green room.
Tony G ditches the 8-5. Nacho Barbero, the Argentinian pro, won 5 tournaments last year. Raises to 2,000 with a couple of threes. Hashem's out. On our cannon, pocket 4s.
Time to see what kind of cannon we got.
When I lose a big pot, I get upset a lot of times. It's true. But I apologize to that player all the time. I shake their hand at the end of the day.
Can you apologize?
But you,
I never have to apologize.
You are a bad winner. And that's a class issue.
Ken calls.
So that's all I'll say.
Phil out. Until he makes the call.
But you have my money. Well done.
I have your money. It's here. It's safe.
Nice hand.
It's going to set you back on that jet purchase.
To the flop. Jack 7 Queen Rainbow. Big whiff.
Everybody misses.
It's going to delay it.
Phil folded a 3, so Nacho's drawing dead.
It's going to fill me up. Fill me up to get back to London.
I'm glad I had a good night's sleep.
Phil's likely to have a nightmare or two tonight.
And the action checks around. Turn, 5 of spades.
Another overcard to both pairs.
Tilly checks.
That must have hurt, though. You got to be honest. That 50,000 stung.
Barbero checks.
I mean, today I don't care. It would have hurt me like last show or 2 shows ago. I would have been upset, but
Ken checks.
You're zen.
I mean, it's
like
just
now.
poker, man.
Yeah, it's just poker.
River deuce.
It's just one hand, you know.
Tilly checks.
I get to play with you the rest of my life. I'm sure you'll beat me for 200, 300,000 and lots of pots.
I hope I beat you for 200 million. I hope someone stakes you and we play.
Barbero checks.
That's what I hope to do.
Ken chose the winner.
Pocket 4s. That looks good.
Well, at least he didn't overplay them.
Wow, go Ken.
I was thinking about evaluating my trees.
There we go. It's all happening now. It's all coming together now, Phil.
It's going to relax the loose cannon.
That's what we call an uptick, Ken. It's just a beginning uptick, but it's good.
Yeah, it's all good, yeah.
So the ex-Copper collars his first pot on the big game. Don't go anywhere. The action and verbal assaults are just getting started. Welcome back to the big game where Tony G has not stopped needling Phil Hellmuth.
Phil, today I think what you could show to all your fans is how to lose classy and walk off the studio quietly without making any comments, just drifting away into retirement.
Are you obsessed by me, Tony?
I'm obsessed. I'm not
I read
obsessed.
an article. I read it like someone did a psychological. Did you read that article online where they
Phil,
said?
I'm obsessed with you only on the game. I'm never obsessed with your personal life. I'm always the best for you. The game, I love to play. You're a character. I love the stimulation because you think you're the best player in the world. My dream's to beat the best, so I'm beating you all the time. So imagine how I'm feeling.
He told me that Tony doesn't get to him.
Oh, baloney.
Yeah, except for the noise factor.
That's a lie.
Except for
Tony's game obviously works against him because always in those spots, Tony gets the best of him.
This isn't the first time Tony's gotten the best of Phil. The bad blood between these two goes back to the beginning of the big game.
I'd almost rather not be playing with Tony G. Why should I sit down and have a guy attack me every single time and get inappropriate and cross all the lines?
Clean you out. I'm not going to clean you out, baby. I'm going to do it to you. I'm going to wipe you out. Bringing in a coach is the lowest level a professional poker player could ever fall to. Imagine every player had a coach in an NBA game and telling him how to play. I mean, that is disgraceful, Phil. You are a disgrace to the game.
There's about 10% of the audience that's watching loves to see you kick me when I'm down.
Oh, it's more than that. I'll bet it's over 10.
I'll be honest with you, sometimes Tony G, I have to think of him as a fly. You don't fight with a fly. You shoo a fly away.
You're a disgrace.
Can I tell you one thing or not? Are you just going to interrupt me? I wish that I weren't a bad loser sometimes, but it's 10 times as bad to be a bad winner. And you're a bad winner, my friend.
Phil has been the worst player by far the big game.
You want to deal it 4 times?
King! You got it!
Bingo! It's just unreal. Do I feel like I've had bad luck on the show? I think that not only have I had bad luck to this point on the show, but everybody knows it in the planet. However, today's a new day.
It's going to be an amazing show. I'm going to really look forward to it, to see how he performs and if he can handle the stress and the pressure.
Kind of ironic that Phil attempted to shoo Tony G away with a $72,000 fly swatter. We were hoping to air that package before they had a chance to get into it, but it's hard when Phil loses 3/4 of his stack on the first hand.
I own you. Do you understand? Wake up. I own you. I destroy you.
Amanda, we should change the name of the show.
To what?
The Tony G and Phil Hellmuth Show.
I know.
They already changed it.
Freaking
Have they?
frat.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's the name of Tony G and Phil's reality show, unfortunately. Spoiler alert, Tony puts Phil in a coma on the first episode.
The action starts on Rankowski. Queen Trey.
What does your psychiatrist's wife say about Tony?
Ken and Phil out.
We've never even brought Tony's name up ever.
Really?
They just call him he who should not be named.
Ace King for Tony.
You don't talk about her at night when you're in bed?
Re-raises to 4,000.
No.
Barbero folds.
We've talked about some players. Tony's name's never come up.
You haven't been playing the role model of being Tony.
Tony, why are you on my left?
Just thought we'd play one nice part together.
Jennifer is dominated and out of position, but based on Tony's rep, she could get into some real trouble here. A lot of people think Jennifer may not be an aggressive player, but trust me, she is. Her lack of experience isn't so much of a lack anymore after the last couple years, specifically dating Phil Laak.
Speaking of aggressive, 4 bets to 12,000.
Wow.
It's better than calling. Tony's got to give Jennifer more credit than she gave him, but it's pretty tough to get any of these guys to lay down ace-king before the flop.
Is it that good? 12.
And Tony calls.
Maybe I need to get lucky.
Easy, Jennifer. I think he meant on the flop.
Flop 7, Jack 7, Rainbow. Both players miss.
Jennifer should c-bet to keep the lead. She doesn't know this, but that flop is pretty bad for Tony's hand.
But she checks.
Okay.
And Tony checks. Turn. King of Hearts, top pair for Tony.
Jennifer's drawing more dead than the bride of Chucky. And it looks like now she's going to try to bluff at this.
Bets 12,000.
She's trying to rep Tony's hand. Tony's not folding.
Tony quickly calls. So we'll see a river. Ace of Diamonds, 2 pair for Tony.
Unfortunately, top pair now for Jennifer.
And she checks. Tony bets 25K.
It's one of her most famous lines from Bride of Chucky. Unfortunately, she kind of has to call.
You want me to take the race back?
What?
You want to take it back? I'll take it back. No, really, take it back.
I don't think you could take the ace back.
No, I'll take it back. I promise. If the ace wins, you win the pot.
What do you mean?
So I'm worried like the ace upset you, so I'm happy to take it off the table.
No, the 25K upset
okay,
me.
all right, let's leave it on there then. I might need it.
Oh my God. I don't even know why I raised you in the first place.
I don't know either.
I was just trying to be clever. Now look what's happening. What do you have here?
Ace King, obviously. I mean, what else could I have?
Is that what you have,
Of course.
ace king?
What else do I play?
He probably has ace king, right?
Or 2 sevens. One of those 2 options.
God.
And I promise you, I either have ace king or 2 sevens.
You promise me?
If you fold, I promise you.
I don't even have 25,000. Is that
I'll
really?
make it 20 if you want.
You'll make it 20?
You want me to make it 20?
Yeah, make it 20.
All right, make it 20.
What a nice guy.
Can you do that?
I don't think I started out with enough money.
The floor's going to allow it.
None of the other players objecting.
Make it 20. Might save us both money.
Okay, call.
Makes the call.
Ace King, I mean, I wouldn't lie.
And Tony wins another big one.
All right. I think I'm going to have to reload.
It was 5,000 cheaper.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
This is just the Tony G show. Forget about Phil Hellmuth.
It is a Tony G show. All right. You know, when you said you had pocket sevens or ace king, I believed you. So I don't know why I didn't just fold there.
He did promise.
I never lie. I would never lie to a lady like that.
Yeah.
But you wanted to see it.
I did want to see it.
And you did.
I was curious.
And Phil wanted to see it, so he wanted you to call.
Well, lucky Phil's gone home.
No, this Phil. The brat.
You can tell Phil Laak's not here anymore. You can't hear him crying from backstage.
Laak wanted updates on 50,000 or more, and I think Jennifer Tilly lost exactly 50,000 on the hand. So, okay, bad news, Phil. Jen just lost 50 to Tony G. Gotta let him know.
Back with more of the Tony G Show right after this. Welcome back to Las Vegas, home of the big game. Now, our loose cannon, 51-year-old retired cop Ken Rankowski might look like your average family man, but beneath that necktie is an action junkie looking for his next fix.
My name is Ken Rankowski. I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and I'm here on the big game. 2 days after my 21st birthday, I joined the Vancouver Police Department. Typically, when you get on in the police department, you work for patrol for a number of years. Within about 3 or 4 years, I ended up getting on the K9 unit. From there, I went to plainclothes units, from drug squad to strike force, which is an elite undercover surveillance squad. I got a real rush from that sort of work, you know, doing surveillance, undercover work, and the takedowns are very exciting. One of my first warrants that I wrote, we actually recovered over $1 million from a marijuana transfer house, and that was really big. So that was really exciting, you know, my first warrant. The type of a rush you get when you're taking down the suspect at the end of the day is just absolutely amazing. I mean, it's very similar to playing poker. That's, you know, you got your highs and you got your lows, and you know, when your heart's pounding and you're moving in and you're coordinating to do a major takedown of a violent suspect, it's extremely, well, it's scary, but it's exhilarating and it's exciting. With the police department behind me and now being retired, now's my chance. I want to spend 100% of my energy playing poker, and I want to really make my name in the poker world. And being here on the big game, that could make it happen. It could finance my dreams. This could be a whole new life for me. This could absolutely change my life.
I do see some similarities between police work and poker, but at least in poker, you don't have to fill out a ton of paperwork every time you fire.
So, Ken, do you play poker in Vancouver?
I do.
At the casinos?
At the local casino, yeah.
Do you have a friendly game at your house?
No, I just stick with the casinos.
Ah.
Action will start on Nacho Barbero. Ace-Jack.
Who's your favorite player at the table? Myself not included.
Raises to 1,600.
Ken is a huge Nacho Barbero fan.
Who would you emulate at this table?
In another life.
Rankowski, 10 tray.
I don't think that would be appropriate to say right now.
Folds.
Finish the
It
sentence.
might work against me.
I want to be a poker player like.
I like them all equally.
Okay.
Aside from you, 25%.
Action folds around to Tilly, who makes the call. Jack 8 for Tony G. Calls.
Very diplomatic answer.
Smart answer.
Who would you rather lock up, Phil Hellmuth or my friend over here?
I think he means Tony G.
You have a good story if you knocked me out. I wouldn't blame you if you wanted to knock me out.
The ego has landed.
6-10 King Rainbow.
It's good for the story, right?
Check, check.
It would be good.
Everybody missed. Nacho's got a gut shot and the best hand with ace high. And what is Jen Tilly doing in there with 8-5 of diamonds?
Barbero bets 3,500. Tilly folds. And Tony G raises.
One of his classic quick bluff raises.
Now we got to test you out. See if you got ace king. Ace king is good, by the way.
I don't know about Nacho's cash game, but the kid knows how to play tournaments.
He makes the call.
And he knows Tony's up to no good here, apparently.
We'll go heads up to the turn. Deuce of hearts.
I check.
Tony checks.
I got that queen jack. What are you gonna do? You can't bet it.
Tony's got one of the cards right.
And Barbero checks. We'll see a river. Tray of diamonds.
I check.
Looks like Tony's given up. Nacho checks behind and he'll win the pot.
I thought you might have had one of those hands.
Oh, ace high good.
So good.
I was calling the river.
That was an easy card to call. Yeah. I don't know if you were going to call 25,000. I had to bet the turn.
Jose Barbero Nacho? Jose Barbero Nacho?
Jose Ignacio Barbero.
Jose Ignacio Barbero.
Ignacio.
But they call you Nacho, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, Ignacio. I thought they called him Nacho because it was his favorite food. Now I know why he seemed underwhelmed by the Taco Bell I had sent to his dressing room.
Action will start on the 2005 main event champ, one of the best dressed guys in poker, Joe Hashem.
I enjoy his cufflinks today.
10-4, folds it. Over to our loose cannon, Ken Rankowski. Say that 5 times fast, Joe. Ace-9 of clubs.
I will not. Ken's a little early, and ace-9 is a weak ace, but it's suited, so he could certainly play this. as long as he raises. I have to specify with some of these cannons.
He does. Raises to 1,500. Phil out. Jennifer out. Tony G with the 8-9 of hearts. Calls.
Tony G calling out of position and dominated.
Nacho, queen deuce.
Go on, Ken. One for the good guys. I'm rooting for you this hand, all right?
You should have been raising that anyway. You were scared. You're playing scared money. You can't call with ace-jack. You have to raise there.
With ace-jack on the flop.
Flops 7, ace-5, couple of diamonds. Rankowski flops top pair. Tony with a G utshot.
I'm scared of you, Tony, honestly. You see how you put on the table. Like you're owning them.
I can't tell if that's sarcasm or an Argentinian accent.
He said it himself. He's owning people.
Testing out.
Yeah.
Tony G's bet 2,200.
Testing out Ken here, who has the best hand and certainly shouldn't fold for one bet.
And he doesn't, makes the call. Turn, 10 of clubs, and Ken Rankowski adds the nut flush draw.
He's already got the best hand, so he shouldn't be too shy about getting some money in now.
I check then.
Tony checks.
Tony's now open-ended.
Save your money. I don't want to bust you.
That's why Tony's so dangerous. He talks when he has it, talks when he doesn't.
Ken fires 6,000. Tony G calls.
Might be a little scary for the amateur.
River, king of hearts, no help to Tony.
Not a great card for Ken, but not a terrible one either.
It's been checked to him.
You can bet it now. You're going to win the pot. Doesn't matter what you do.
Checking behind, totally fine here.
Got the ace.
And he checks.
Yeah.
Good?
Oh, what a nice turn card.
And a club draw.
That was a good turn. I should not have called. That was not a clever call. I'm the worst player against the loose cannon. If you want to play with me every hand.
Ken takes down another one, and so far the ex-cop is kicking down the door of the big game.
8-9 was not looking good on the river when I checked.
Welcome back to the big game as we take a look at the profit leaderboard after the first 15 hands. Tony G is up over 100K after flopping the nuts against Phil Hellmuth, taking the brat for 72K.
Jennifer Tilly shipped the rest of that profit to the G stack, and now she and Phil will have a tough battle to get back to even.
I have to make $50,000 back, like 1,000 at a time. I'm saving up for plastic surgery.
Don't think you need
Tony G dipped into my plastic surgery fund. Just have to do the old tape behind the ears trick. Cheap but effective.
Yeah, it's even nicer. I'm going to straddle it.
Of course you are.
Tony's straddling, half with Jen's money, half with Hellmuth's.
Barbero with 6 tray. Folds. Joe Hashem out.
I feel I should be winning more. I mean,
I feel like you should be
I made
too.
some, like, especially here to the Argentinian, I've been too generous.
Wow, he sounds exactly like a James Bond villain.
Cannon folds. Phil Hellmuth, big slick.
The pot is unopened to this point.
Phil in the small blind.
There you go. He's going to make a move out of position again.
Raises.
Very nicely done.
To 2,800.
Can't blame the guy for raising ace-king.
Jen out. Queen Jack for Tony G.
And I have qualified.
Calls.
Fortunately, you may double up.
Maybe.
Phil once again the favorite.
Flop. King, ace 10. The nuts for Tony G again, and now Phil with top 2.
A disastrous situation for Phil Hellmuth.
I think this one, just take it, Phil. Don't even bother betting.
Phil bets 3K.
I was kidding you.
And Tony G raises.
See if you got the ace.
Oh my God, you're such an
I can fold this hand.
Don't fold it. Just stick it in.
Tony always talks, but he tends to talk more when he has it. Still, folding ace-king in this spot is definitely a losing play in the long run, especially with Phil's stack.
I got a flush draw, Phil. I'll be honest with you. If you want, I'll even show you one of my cards.
Maybe if he showed the jack of hearts.
I'm all in.
All right, cool.
Brutal.
I have a flush draw and a straight at the moment.
And a straight. Flop the nuts and look at this, both slow playing.
What are you slow playing here for? Just get it in. I mean, you know, how many times do you want to run it?
One's good.
I'm happy to run it 20 times. To have you like down on this.
Maybe we should run it 3 times. I don't know. What do you think? 3 times?
Yeah, 3 times at least will keep you in the game.
Yeah, I would do 3.
I've been deciding badly lately on how many times to run it.
It's all the same.
I'll let you choose, Tony. How about that?
3 times.
Okay. Tony chooses.
I know, like the ace is coming in the first card. Ace
I
from
know.
space.
I ran it once, like the last 2 or 3 times, and every time I missed. So
I want to keep in the game. That's why I want to run it like 8 times. You're going to catch one of them.
Phil is drawing live.
There's Phil's coach, Lane Flack. He's left the green room. He's going to get a better look at this one with Amanda on the couch.
Your boy's all in with the worst of it right now.
Yeah, I just saw the hand.
Yeah.
There's the coach. He's in. You see the coach is there. Go and give him a massage. We've done it 3 times. He's been owned 2 out of 2 sometimes. The statistics are 100% owned by Tony G.
yeah, you've really been out
Pots
playing.
played, 100% owned.
Working on a graphic for that right now, Mr. G.
I think Phil needs you.
He does need
I think Phil needs an ace or a king.
Dynamite call, coach. An ace or a king would make Phil a full house.
And then if Phil goes, then I need you. I'm his second.
Lane, I should just run it once, right?
1 or 3 times.
Once or 3 times.
We agreed 3 times. Don't go back on your word now.
3 times is fine.
So they're going to run it 3 times with the winner of each run taking a third of the pot. Turn number 1. Phil makes a boat.
Oh!
Told you that ace is coming. I knew it.
Did you peel it off right away?
Yeah.
Still, you feel good, right? At least you're going to be in the game. I mean, you could have missed out every time. Give him one more ace to get the aces out of the way.
Ouch, if Phil had run it once, he would have won the whole pot. And now,
not.
Every time on the show, I've been wrong.
Yeah, you
every
kept
time I've
saying
said to run it once,
Once.
I've been unlucky. Like the last 2 shows. Every time I've decided to run it 3 or 4 times.
River one's a king.
And the king.
Oh,
Beautiful.
Oh, that sucks.
That's being overqualified, Phil.
Phil will take down a third of the pot, but he loses one of his outs with that king on the river.
I mean, for all his bad etiquette and behavior, they peeled an ace for me. Like, I knew it was coming, too. He slow rolled me. He's been, like, as bad as you can be. And, of course, they peeled an ace. I should not have run this 3 times.
I feel terrible, Phil. You're making me feel guilty. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I've been bashing up on you.
Tony, that's just you, Tony.
Sorry.
We all know that.
And imagine you're trying to take me on all the time. It's time to retire.
I'll play with you all the time.
Turn number 2, deuce of diamonds, no help to Phil.
appropriate. Tony's acting kind of deucey.
That's so sick. I had to run it 3 times because I wanted to keep playing.
At least you didn't run it 5 times. Think about it. That would be terrible. You still got outs.
River number 2. Jack of spades, Tony wins.
Wow, how close was that?
Not really all that close.
And Tony will take a third of the pot worth almost 22K.
1 run to go. Phil's got only 2 cards that'll save him.
Turn number 3, 7 of hearts.
My flush. It's a flash.
Hearts won't matter if Phil boats up.
Here comes river number 3. Tray of spades, and Tony G gets 2/3 of the pot.
Unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. It's just so scary how bad I run on this show.
Yeah, you're gonna have your basically your money back. You're fine. And you're gonna lose a little bit. The tax. You're gonna pay tax, the Tony G tax, and just move on to the next hand. It's not even painful.
The 3 certainties in life are death, taxes, and Phil Hellmuth getting his lunch eaten on the big game.
So Phil lacks the heart and commitment to run it once. He's down to just under 22K.
Well, that stack's looking smaller.
This goes to Mr. Tony G.
Thank you.
Dealer's a Tony G fan, I guess.
And Tony G continues his assault on the table. Through 16 hands, he's up over 115,000. The big game continues to get the best of the poker brat.
You're better off with a small stack because it's more your game, so you feel more confident and you're under less pressure.
Do you ever stop, Tony? I mean...
I do.
Really?
Once you're out.
As promised, the verbal warfare between Tony G and Phil Hellmuth has been legendary.
I beat you every hand, Phil. I beat you over and over and over and over. You're destroyed. You can never get your money back.
Tony, you are a real beauty.
I own you. You understand, Phil? I own you.
And poor Jennifer Tilly has been caught in the crossfire.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm in the eye of a hurricane. But it's pretty entertaining. It's like I get sort of the bird's eye view. I just, hope I don't get hit by flying spin.
Yeah, guys, say it, don't spray it.
I think Jen's gonna have to shut out the noise. Through just 17 hands, she's already lost over half her buy-in.
I'm just gonna play a little, put chips in every now and then to look like I'm playing, Get a little camera time, think a little bit, and then fold. That way I'll make my stack of 50 last, through 5 days. No crazy bluffing, no.
Yeah, just play good poker.
Yeah,
play
yeah.
good, honest poker. That's what Phil should do too. Then you would last longer. Like if you didn't go all crazy with that first hand, you would be having a nice stack and kind of enjoying yourself now. Not feeling under pressure, just blinding, drifting away.
Dude, I feel completely zero pressure. I don't know why do you keep...
Because you've given up, right? You've given up.
I'm not like you, Tony. I don't get down to 20,000 and give up. I fight to the end.
I don't
That's
give up.
why I am what I am.
I never give up when I have 20,000.
Well, then why did you think that about me?
Well, because you're not reloading.
I raised the next hand against you, the second hand. I had ace king
but
the
you
second
should be
hand. I
reloading.
thought you were going to try to give it to me with
You're
9-10 again.
embarrassing yourself by not reloading. That's what I think you're doing to yourself and your fans.
Tony's mad he can only get what's in front of Phil.
Hashem straddled, so it's on Ken.
I think your fans are disgusted.
We are disgusted by how bad he runs, which reminds me, I gotta get the newsletter out.
10s for Tilly.
My fans love me, Tony, which is great. They didn't in 06 and 07, but now I have their love. So
They didn't
I'm
love
happy.
you in 06 and 07. What did you do in 06 or 07?
Tilly raises to 1,200 over to Tony G with Big Slick.
I'll raise the pot.
Raises to 5,400.
It's the second time tonight we've seen Tony repop Jennifer.
Barbero folds. Hashem in the straddle with ace-4 of spades. Folds.
Tony 3-bet Jennifer before when he had ace-king. I think she's more likely to give him credit now, but 2 10s is a big pocket pair and certainly worth taking a flop with.
Then she will.
Hashem folded an ace, so Tony's going to be a little worse off than normal.
Tony G and Tilly to the flop. 9-8-9. Tilly's still best.
I'll make it 9. 2 9s, I'll make it 9.
Tony continues.
Ooh. If I run it once, I'm back to 60.
We gave you 3 times advice, sorry.
Oh, no, it wasn't you. No, it wasn't you guys. I ran it 3 times because Tony G, but I was going to let him choose, because I've made the wrong decision on the show every time. I wanted to run it once, but I wanted to run it once the last 2 times and lost on the show.
Phil's consistently made the wrong decision on this show, but right now it's on Jennifer Tilly with a decision to make.
Facing a 9K bet from Tony G.
I'm all in.
She's all in.
That is not good. All in is not good.
Good for me. Thanks.
You're back in the saddle.
Back in the saddle.
So Tilly's aggressive move helps her add 15K to her stack as she takes down her 3rd pot of the night, boosting her pot's won percentage to 17%. So far, Tony G has been crushing the table, though, raking 44% of the pots. That's a whopping 8 of 18 hands played.
And it should come as no surprise that Tony has come out swinging. For players playing at least 300 hands in the big game, the G is the all-time VPIP leader. Tony's played more than half of the over 600 hands he's seen. He's known for bringing massive buy-ins and tons of action to the table. One side note for all you members of the Bill Perkins fan club, yes, he has a career VPIP higher than Tony, but he hasn't played over 300 hands.
Action will start on the poker, Brad. Phil Hellmuth having a rough night. 8 deuce of spades folds. Jennifer Tilly, jack deuce, she's out. Tony G with the 10 tray.
I lose. You gotta know when you lose, you gotta give up.
Raises to 1,400. Ace 5 for Nacho.
Not ashamed to lose like Phil. I'm not ashamed to fold in the river like Phil is.
Nacho calls 1,400. And Hashem's out. Rankowski, the cannon, pocket queens.
Let's see how the cannon does in his first OB 3-bet spot.
Raise.
He's going to OB 3-bet to 4,500. Tony G calls.
I got a defensive hand.
So that's what you call it.
Barbero out.
Hopefully that ace-king holds up for you. I worry about him all the time.
Man, is he terrifying.
King 9 jack on the flop, 2 clubs.
Tony flops a gut shot, which is hard enough to make, but Ken's got 2 of his outs. Ken's got a gut shot as well. He may be a little afraid of that king, but he should continue here.
And does, bets 8,200.
Nice bet. Tony with only 10 high.
You're gonna fold ace-king? Could have 10-queen. But I don't.
Tony G folds, and Ken's going to take down a nice little pot.
Nice hand, Ken.
Thank you.
Ken's playing careful, squared away poker.
Just like his careful squared away wins or not.
So the loose cannon ex-cop Ken adds 6,700 to his stack. He's still got a long way to go to catch Italian Max Martinez for the NAPT passport. Hope he has some hookups at Interpol. Back with more poker right after this. Welcome back to the big game from Las Vegas, Nevada, alongside Joe Stapleton. I'm Scott Huff, and guess what, folks? It's Couch Cannon time. That's where you at home get to play along by seeing only the loose cannons hole cards.
Remember, Ken's a former cop, so now he's chasing the nuts rather than donuts.
Barbero's out.
My skills are not very smooth.
Hashem raises to 2,300.
We all learn from your greatness at the poker table, Tony.
Thank you very much. That's a nice compliment.
Tony, that really wasn't a compliment.
Pocket queens for Rankowski again.
Definitely looking for a raise.
So you're getting there now. You're starting to mature. Like a nice cheese. You look like a cheese a bit. A chewing gum. I'll bring you some nice cheese to put into your ears.
Phil is from Wisconsin.
Raise to 5.
Ken 3-bets to 5K.
I'd like to see a bigger raise, but he's in position, so whatevs.
What are you doing, Ken?
Action back on Hashem.
Thought we were going to be friends.
Makes the call.
I haven't played a pot with you yet. This is going to be good.
Just you and the world champion.
Hey, Phil's a world champ, too.
10, King, Jack, couple of clubs, and overcard hits, but Ken with a straight draw now as well.
Go ahead, sir.
And Hashem checks.
This board might be kind of scary for 2 queens, but I think Ken could bet it if he wants.
I'm going to check it.
Checking behind, fine, too.
Turn 6 of spades.
Ken's hand does not improve.
And now Hashem fires at it, 7,500.
Hopefully Ken checked the flop in order to give Joe the opportunity to bluff at this turn. So Ken shouldn't necessarily fold right away, but also I don't think it's a very good spot for a raise. Hashem was the initial raiser. It's possible that Ken's beat, but his hand is too strong to lay down to just one bet, and even if he is beat, he still has outs.
Ken will make the call.
I don't hate this spot for Ken right now, but obviously we'd all like him to improve.
River, 5 of hearts.
Well, Ken didn't improve, and I'm afraid of facing another barrel on this river.
And Joe is reaching for chips. How big will the barrel be? 12,500.
Even though I don't love it, this is a pretty clear call mathematically. Ken's getting 3-1, which means he only has to have the best hand less than 1 out of every 4 times to be a winner in the long run. Still, 12-5 is huge for an amateur to make this call.
I call.
Thought you were never going to call.
What does Joe have? Jack 10 for 2 pair.
Whoops.
2 pair.
Good hand.
Is that good, Ken?
Yeah, it's good.
So he had you on the flop.
Yeah.
Ah, bad luck. That's poker.
Just ask the guy sitting at Jen's right.
So Hashem will add over 25,000 of the cannon's chips to his stack.
Probably saved yourself money for your ace, King.
Ken may have lost the minimum in the hand, but after fighting hard all night to chip up on the last hand, his stack suffers a major setback. He ends the night with an $8,200 deficit.
Joe Hashem moves up from down under and ends 28K in the black. Tony G finishes up 88K after flopping the nuts twice against Phil Hellmuth. The Brat and his coach will have to draw up a play to bounce back from a dismal debut.
All right, guys, end of the night. Ken?
Hey.
Had some ups and downs, but you're still hanging in there.
Feeling good until the last hand, but that's okay.
There's more hands.
There's more hands, yeah.
Phil, rough night. Is he getting on your nerves?
I mean, to be honest, no. He's like a fly, but I've always wished him away.
You're like a
But
fly.
I guess I have to swat him now. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to really hurt him, but you know, got to swat. I mean, if you think of him as money as a fly, like buzzing around, it's time to swat him. So.
All right, guys, that's it for tonight. I'm Amanda Leatherman saying goodbye for now. And remember, if you've got the cash and the guts, there's always a seat open at the big game. Good night, everybody.
Tony G does a lot of barking on night 1 and backs it up with his bite. For Joe Stapleton, this is Scott Huff saying so long from Vegas.
You got him tonight.
I got him. I mowed him down.
That's all right. He had a nice. He played. I like the way he played that
Popped the
hand.
nuts twice against him.
2 straights.
Crazy.
I like the way he played the 9-10 against me. That was a good. 15 was good. The 50 was really good.
You compliment him a lot. It's nice, actually.
You gotta be honest. I'm honest.
The preceding program was sponsored by PokerStars.com.